of the leading promotion contenders meet today on the Sunday match. It's Leicester against Charlton, live from Filbert Street. A win for Charlton could take them to the top, but they've got to rid themselves of a live match jinx. They've been going well, but never won live on the box. Leicester too could take top spot. Watch out for Ewan Roberts, a consistent scorer since his move from Huddersfield. We've a special feature on Mark McGee's Reading, top of Division 2 and looking good for promotion. And Watford hit form with a vengeance. 3 from Paul Furlong, making Barry Fry and Birmingham suffer.
Good afternoon and welcome to the first Sunday match of the new year. And with just 6 points separating the top 10 teams in the Ensley League First Division, we're in for quite a bit of excitement between now and May. It should be an interesting promotion race, Sam.
Well, I think we've been saying that from the start of the season almost, Matt, and some of the big guns beginning to gather now in that top 10 at the top, so it's really going to be very, very close, as we've said, all through the season. But we kick off this week with our Saturday goals roundup. 33 goals coming up, with Watford taking pride of place. But Gabriel Clark's selection begins.
Unavailable for comment this afternoon, which is probably just as well. Jim Rosenthal is our man at Filbert Street this afternoon, and the big question for Charlton fans must be, can they break that live match hoodoo today? Here's Jim.
Thanks very much indeed, Matthew, and welcome to Filbert Street. It's cool and clear here today, and at least there's no rain, and they had plenty of that here on Wednesday. Well, can Charlton at last break their live telly jinx? Colin Walsh, you're suspended today, I know, but what's the feeling in the dressing room?
Well, we're quietly confident, but as you say, we've got a jinx. I think it's 7-8 in the trot that we've not won on the box, but hopefully today we can put that right.
How much incentive is there coming here today, knowing both of you could be top of the table by the end of the afternoon?
That's right. Alan and Steve just said that in the dressing room. You don't need to wind yourself up for a game like this. This is the games that you really want to play in, and as you say, that the two of us could go top of the league.
You're not the only one suspended today, are you? What effect will those suspensions have?
Well, hopefully the lads that are going to come in are going to do the same job as we do, and if they do the job, we've been warned, if they do the job, that we'll be fighting for a place to come back. So they've got a point to prove because they've not been in all season, so just hopefully that we'll get a good result.
A lot of our viewers will be watching you for the first time since the Portsmouth game. You had a bit of a wobble, haven't you? But and people might have expected you to fall away. That hasn't happened, though. No,
it's not happened this season. The last 2 seasons, it's usually just in the leading up to Christmas we've had a wobble, as you say. But hopefully we can put that behind us. And I think the Southend game was the only bad game we've played over the Christmas period.
And just finally, a word on the conditions. It was dreadfully heavy here on Wednesday. It's going to be pretty sticky this afternoon.
Yeah, that's right. We've been told when we warm up just to stay to the edge of the pitch because the middle's all bogged down. But it's the team that's going to apply themselves who's going to win the game, I think.
We'll take a break there. Kick-off at Leicester, a little under 15 minutes away. And next, a report on promotion chasers Reading and yesterday's visit, and turn our attention to today's live action. And Charlton hit a rocky patch just around Christmas, losing 3 straight games. They've recovered since, though, and it's worth recapping their recent form. This was against Southend. They lost 4-2, and Ricky Otto was in spectacular form. Well, Charlton not only lost the match, nice celebrations, they lost their tempers. That's Chappell getting the red card. Walsh got one too, and both players missed today's game.
I think, Matt, really it was a case of too much Christmas pudding there for them. But on the 29th of December, this is a game against Stoke, and big Leaburn getting the first goal there. And Stoke really have been going well, so this was a good victory for them. Second goal coming up. Nelson does well here, takes the ball wide of the keeper, tries to squeeze it in there, and McLeary followed up to make it 2-0.
Well, after drawing 1-1 at Forest on New Year's Day, they met West Brom on January the 3rd. And this is Alan Pardew.
This is a lovely goal, isn't it? I love to see that, diving headers. Always encourage youngsters when you coach them to go in and dive. Be brave, you'll get goals. And then, of course, it was this man, Leaburn again. 10 goals this season, vital man for him.
And you can get 10-1 from the bookies for him being the first to score this afternoon, which I reckon are pretty good odds.
10-1.
It's not bad, is it?
I would think that's a fair old bet. But this afternoon's game, talking about goals, Leicester are the leading goal scorers at home. They're banging them in at home, so if you're going to have a bet, I would think maybe having a bet on maybe David Speedie. It'll be interesting anyway. Today, Speedie always gives us a bit of a laugh when we watch him, you know, because he's always in there causing problem. But I'll be interested to see if he gets a goal. I'll be interested to see if Charlton today break the jinx. We're all talking about this jinx, and as you know, they blame us for it, you know. They always play well until the cameras turn up. And this is a tough game for them, a very difficult match. I'm not too sure if they can go there and win at Leicester.
We shall see, Saint. We shall see if the bookies are going to be in luck or not. Let's join our commentary team at Filbert Street now. One-time Leicester manager and now Luton boss David Pleat is our guest today, and he joins John Helm.
There's a common incentive for both these sides today. Either could go top of the Ensley League First Division, depending on the outcome of Tranmere's meeting with Nottingham Forest. Well, this is how Leicester line up. Kevin Poole is in goal. Simon Grayson wears number 2. Mike Whitlow 3. Gary Mills, the skipper, is at 4. Steve Agnew 5. Colin Hill is at 6. David Oldfield 7. Steve Thompson in his usual number 8 shirt. David Speedie wears 9. Ewan Roberts 10. And Colin Gibson 11. And this is the shape of Brian Little's side, which never alters much. It's the usual 4-4-2 formation, but Simon Grayson has moved inside to partner Colin Hill at the centre of defence recently, and Colin Gibson on the left and David Oldfield on the right will give the side width. A year ago, Mark Robson was in the West Ham team that went on to win promotion, of course. He scored at Filbert Street and will be delighted to repeat that feat today and open his account for Charlton, for whom he signed in November. Promotion very much on his mind again. Charlton have Mike Salmon in goal. Right back side, Steve Brown is number 24. Scott Minto is 11. Peter Garland number 4. Stuart Balmer is number 1. Alan McLeary wears 10. Alan Pardew 15. Mark Robson 27. Carl Leaburn is 8. Kim Grant 6. And John Robinson 18. Well, Charlton also employ 4 in defence, 4 in midfield and 2 up front. Stuart Balmer replaces the suspended Phil Chappell. Peter Garland's back in place of Darren Pitcher, and with Colin Walsh a 3rd absentee due to suspension, John Robinson and Robson will play down the flanks. Well, on the respective substitute benches, the Leicester side today can call on striker David Lowe and centre-back Brian Carey, as well as keeper Gavin Ward. And Charlton's trio comprises of Sean Newton, front-runner Gary Nelson and goalkeeper John Vaughan. The referee there today, Eddie Lomas from Manchester, so he's the man in the middle. It's going to be a bit heavy later on this pitch, I think, David. A lot of rain, and in fact on Friday I don't think they would have been able to play here.
No, it's going to be sticky. Fitness is going to be a factor, and I'm quite sure we're going to see lots of crosses into the box. I'm sure that the tall Carl Leaburn and the important Ewan Roberts for Leicester are going to be major figures this afternoon.
Leicester are all in blue. Charlton in their red shirts and their white shorts. It's a crucial game for both clubs. They're embarking on a phase of the season where they both feel they can make an impact. Charlton, for example, have got matches coming up against lowly clubs, Barnsley, Grimsby, Oxford. And if Charlton won today and Tranmere didn't, Charlton would definitely go top. Leicester's chance would come if they win today and Tranmere don't, because Leicester have scored more goals than anybody in the division. So they'd go top on goal difference if that was the scenario. There is Agnew heading the ball onto the head of Ewan Roberts. Speedie unable to find any colleague there. There's a dash on here for Kim Grant, the covering defender Colin Hill. And Poole, who's just won his place back in goal, has played that ball direct to Garland. Well, it was worth a try from Peter Garland. Starting a game for the first time since December the 18th. Whistle had already gone, I fancy.
I think they'll have to be very careful with back passes. There's some sticky patches, there's no water on the pitch, but there's been heavily sanded, and particularly on the edge of Mike Salmon's 18-yard box, it looks really tacky.
Yes, the ground staff have done a tremendous job here to get this game on. And the forecast was not too bright for the Leicester area over the weekend, but it's behaved itself pretty well. There's Agnew again. He's having an impressive season. Steve Agnew, his first full season with the club, having moved here from Portsmouth. Grant playing up front alongside Carl Leaburn today. Preferred to Gary Nelson, who's on the bench. But here's Leicester's free kick now. And Gibson had taken up a good position there, hoping to receive the ball from Roberts. It didn't come to him. And now Robson. Interesting, David, that Robson started on the right and Robinson on the left.
He likes to control the ball with his left foot mainly, Mark Robson, but they might have looked at Whitlow, who's very much a left-footed player, and decided that Mark Robson might be able to make some inroads on the inside of Mike Whitlow.
Throwing for Charlton inside that area toward Leaburn, 6'3" he is. And an awkward ball there. Agnew stumbled momentarily. Steve Brown. And, Robson made some space there, so Leaburn was able to direct that ball to him. Garland sweeps it across here. Well, Leicester have been vulnerable in centre of defence this season, and that's a poor clearance from David Oldfield, rather lackadaisical. Good work down the right from Gary Mills. Grayson snapped onto that one and pushes it through into the direction of Roberts. Can't find Speedie first time though. And that was an important challenge that Hill won there. It's probably going to go out for the corner, is it? No, just kept in by Poole. And that was a very important tackle that was won. And Charlton build again through Minto.
Both teams appear to have good width, which means that we won't see too much action in the centre of the field. They'll get it wide. Charlton will use Robson and Robinson at every opportunity, and it looks as though Leicester's width will come from Colin Gibson, although he'll tuck in slightly more, and I think David Oldfield will be asked to give them width on the right-hand side.
I think that's right, David. Steve Thompson almost delivered a terrific ball there, didn't he, from the right back position, seeking to get his front runners moving. Good passer of the ball. That's his Agnew.
Lovely passer of the ball. He's got a lovely range of pass. Likes to play deep, rather safe at times, safe positions. He's got a beautiful range.
There's Mills. Charlton's throw in. Charlton have a good record against Leicester over the recent seasons. They've won 4 of the last 5 meetings, including this season's confrontation in October at the Valley. Charlton came out on top 2-1 that day. And they look to settle themselves here with an early goal. Well, that's a useful, well, it's not a useful ball at all. It spewed off the side of the boot for a goal kick.
I think we can expect 1 or 2 bobbles there. Scott Minto wouldn't have been very pleased with that, but I'm sure it's not got a true lie there.
Robinson lost out. Grayson pumped it forward first time. Here goes David Speedie. Capably dealt with that time by Balmer. Progress again for the valiant Charlton with Robson. The valiants or the addicts, you can take your pick for Charlton Athletic.
And the Filberts and the Foxes, take your pick for Leicester too.
That's right. Charlton's throw to be taken by Steve Brown, who's a good 6-footer. Good to see him back after a cruciate ligament injury. And Leaburn there gets in and directs the header towards Grant. Leicester will have to be careful with the height of Leaburn, which is posing a problem already. Something David Pleat mentioned right at the start, that on the one side you've got Ewan Roberts, 6'2", and on the other side Leaburn, who's 6'3".
Yeah, and influential defensive headers are missing this game. Chappell, who's so important for Charlton, he's been a good signing. And for Leicester, 3 central defenders missing today. James, who's been ridden with injuries. Big Steve Walsh, who's very important to them. And the boy Richard Smith.
They made a pretty confident start here. There's Leaburn again. It just didn't sit up kindly that time. Well, that was unfortunate for Charlton. Leaburn again had got in there well. And I think he's going to be an influential figure in the game. Knocked up nicely towards Robinson. Get into the second attempt. Speedie, a cute ball out towards Oldfield. He almost won it, and it broke anyway for Leicester. And it's going to take Garland scuttling back to do something here. Offside flag, it won't count with us no matter what happens.
I'm sure that Mark Robson on the right-hand side can do a job, but Steve Gritt have obviously and Kirbishley have obviously thought about this long and hard before the game about switching Robinson. Robinson may be less comfortable on the left-hand side, whereas I'm sure Mark Robson won't worry too much about playing on the right. But we can look for a switch round. They're adaptable.
Trouble here again as the ball is laid back towards Poole. And then Roberts, who's good at holding the ball up in those situations, is seen as the aggressor by Mr. Lomas. And is he?
He's given an obstruction there. But in actual fact, I thought it was, here we see this again, when Whitlow plays it short, you see Colin Gibson come. I think Colin Gibson there is holding Garland off. And I think that free kick may have been given towards Charlton, but they've lost out that time.
Towards Leaburn, and this time Hill masters him in the air. Charlton have plenty of options. There's no doubt about it. Alan Kirbishley and Steve Gritt have done a tremendous job there at the Valley with what they've got at their disposal. They've not got the biggest squad in the division by any means. Again, Leaburn is the target. It drifts all the way through for Poole.
That's nearly a good ball by Minto. I thought he had time and space to go forward with the ball, but obviously away from home, Charlton's back four. You can see by the goals conceded this season away, they keep their shape all the time. The fullbacks don't join in as much as they would do at home.
Charlton's defence generally very watertight. 22 conceded in 25 matches. Can't get much better than that. So 10 minutes played at Filbert Street, and we await the first goal. As we said before, it's a really key game, this one, for these two sides. Charlton have just got their season back on tracks after stumbling just before Christmas, but they've got men up here. And this is the lively Grant, who wins them a corner. Colin Hill, Northern Ireland defender, redoubtable type. Important man today.
Only Speedie upfield for Leicester as they defend with 9 outfield players in the box.
Well, usually see a number 1 in there, but Balmer is the number 1 for Charlton, and he was one of those trying to get in there. There he is, in fact, Balmer's header. Will it fall for a man in a red shirt? The answer is no, but it's a poor clearance, and Garland is able to push that ball wider, and then it's lofted right on top of the net by Robson.
I sense a little bit of nervousness in the Leicester defence at this moment in time. 1 or 2 clearances getting stuck, not able to get the ball forward. Little bit of apprehension.
Roberts, towering figure, got up beautifully well then, and Oldfield finds Speedie, uses his head, brings Mills into things. Agnew this time. And Speedie looking for the little knockback for Oldfield. Mills tries an alternative route. Speedie might still profit from this one. Brian Little's side concentrating on good football. They've got a reputation for that. They've also got a bit of a reputation for going asleep in matches. When they've scored a goal, they've often conceded one straight away afterwards. Something he's trying to eradicate. They let 3 in 6 minutes at Main Road last Saturday. Grant, and the hustle is away from Whitlow, and he's done nicely there. That was excellent work, and Robson's got a bit of room to manoeuvre with this time. Here's the ball in. There's the header, which Poole is able to scramble down and collect. Alan Pardew stealing forward into space inside that penalty area, but a comfortable enough stop.
It was a lovely ball by Kim Grant. Robson, nice crosser, two-footed player. There it goes in. Pardew just having to lean back slightly to get that ball down, but once again, a promising attack. Charlton not frightened to run forward from midfield. Garland and Pardew will look every time when they get the ball wide to run beyond behind the fullbacks, try and stretch Leicester.
Now the ball almost sticking on the surface, and Leicester finding 1 or 2 problems in the middle of the pitch. I think it's only going to make sense to try and play down the flanks today.
Both managers, or the management pair from Charlton and Brian Little, will be emphasising where the grass is. And the grass is in the wide positions, and they'll try and get the balls wide and overload in wide positions, and then get the balls into the box for the big men. Speedie, of course, is a good header of the ball too.
And some space again here, but this time Grant is offside.
Grant looks lively.
Yeah, 21-year-old, born in Ghana, but he's established himself this season at Charlton. Brian Little and Alan Evans look quite happy, certainly amused about something.
Yeah, it's a good joke teller, Alan.
Oh, he's found Roberts' edge of the area. Speedie, Roberts still hustling for it, and it breaks for Gibson now. Problems for Charlton in defence as Gibson lays it into the path of Thompson. Mills goes beyond Gibson this time. And Charlton have broken effectively on a number of occasions. This is not one of them. Gibson and Whitlow both very left-footed. And Roberts, McLeary was the defender who took him out there, but no more than a throw-in.
Wait until he's ready, Brownie. Yes, kid.
Well intercepted by Hill, but his pass didn't have the pace required. And so up the middle goes Grant again as the ball sticks. It's a one-on-one, Grant and Grayson. And Grant's held it up neatly here, but Pardew sort of ran out of steam, I fancy. And Robinson couldn't quite get there either. His feet stuck. That was a lovely ball hoisted over the top of Mills, however. And Robinson attacks via a different route, but with an ineffective ending.
Well, quite lively start by Charlton, a good early 15 minutes for them. Robinson there showing why they switched the wingers, coming in on his right foot across Mills's weaker left side and able to get a shot in. Probably lost his angle just a shade.
Bright sunlight, as you can see, in Leicester at the moment. It's a lovely afternoon, actually, if the pitch is not at its best. This one's hoisted up to Gibson. A one-on-one with Brown. Colin Gibson. Well, he didn't have much space, but he's won the corner off the right back.
Yeah, at his prime, Colin Gibson, he was marvellous at doing that little trick. We call it a little bicycle, right foot over, take it with your left foot. Splendid in his Villa and then United days with that one.
Thompson will deliver the corner, as he always does, and it's round about the penalty spot, but a comfortable catch for Mike Salmon. The first time I think he's probably touched the ball. Message from Steve Gritt there. Some good vocal form, obviously. Agnew might get a free kick out of this. Bit of obstruction. There was nowhere for him to go, actually.
It was cunning play by Steve Agnew, really. He pushed it by Minto rather cleverly and made it clear to the referee that he was no place to go, and the obstruction given, and could be dangerous because Thompson has got a wicked flight with his right foot.
Let's see. It's in there, but Charlton got enough bodies around to cope with it. Now Leaburn. Let's see if he stretches those legs and uses his pace. Well, he chose instead the inside pass. That wasn't a good one. Given for a push on Roberts, who's been signed to do the job Steve Walsh was doing for them until he broke his leg earlier in the season. They needed a strong target man, and Ewan Roberts is the answer for them.
Well, he's doing quite well at the moment, is he? 6 goals in 9 appearances, and he's come from a lower grade.
Good covering from Grayson, who's been one of Leicester's most consistent players this season. McLeary played most of his football in London with Millwall, of course. Brief spells at Sheffield United and Wimbledon before joining Charlton last season. Very much at the hub of things in defence now as Leicester build again down the right. They often concentrate their attacks down there with Mills, who's got speed and plenty of ambition as he sets tracks towards Charlton's goal, but excellent work from Charlton. Well up to the task so far this afternoon. It's got every evidence of being a very close game, I think, this. The ball sticking, and a little bit of confusion between the two central defenders there. Nearly allowed Agnew to get in. Leaburn, a useful header this one. Pardew might have done a little better there as he attempted to get Grant up the middle. Oldfield's drifted inside. Oh, it's an excellent challenge from Pardew. Robson now. Minto's dashing up to get up on the outside left position. Here's Minto now, the good ball in. Grant was coming for it, and that's going to be a corner. I don't think Kim Grant was sure whether to go for the ball the second time or not, but he's got the corner.
It was a splendid, unselfish run by Minto there to support on the outside. There was a good ball in the first place across the face by Kim Grant. A very good Charlton attack. It was all based on winning a challenge in midfield.
And Charlton do look lively. 20 minutes gone, 0-0 the score. Charlton's corner. Hit high, but Grayson's there. A second chance, however, for this one to be played in, and it's not well taken. The two players finding it difficult to lift the ball on occasions. It is a heavy surface. That's good, and this is Whitlow. Down the line goes Gibson. He can't keep that in though.
I think Charlton are slightly more neat, more tidy, more thoughtful in their play at the moment. Leicester having a little bit of problem. They've got 1 or 2 that like running with a ball, and it's dangerous on these conditions. Gary Mills basically is a wide right player who's been converted to full back play. He likes running with a ball. David Oldfield certainly does in the wide right front position in front of Mills. You've got to pass the ball quickly. You can't run in these conditions, and you've got to be sharp and get the ball forward. We've got 2 strong players, Speedie and Roberts. Both can handle the challenge in the air. It's got to be a little bit route one for Leicester, I think.
So route one taken by Poole there. Roberts climbs, but illegally against McLeary. Charlton will be pleased with the start, especially as Leicester have got 13 goals in their last 4 games here, so they're on a high.
Yeah, well, I mean, Leicester haven't had a shot yet. Salmon has pulled down one corner quite comfortably, and at the moment Leicester are just breezing into this rather casually, but they mustn't lose a goal. If they do, they'll be up against it. Charlton seem brighter.
There's Leaburn, edge of that area where Hill makes the clearance. And Agnew nods it back towards his own net. Would have been ill-advised, and it enables Charlton to come again with Brown. And, just about every player is in the Leicester half at the moment. Here's this throw from Brown, aimed at Leaburn predictably. Garland is the one to take it on and win the corner for Charlton. It's a very positive start by the Alan Kirbishley-Steve Gritt team. Unbeaten in their last 4 games and played really well in the FA Cup win last weekend against Burnley. So they have this corner. And it's digged towards the near post, and the appeals are for goal kick from the Leicester defence, and that's exactly what they get. Well, let's have a word with Jim Rosenthal. Any news from the touchline, Jim?
Yes, there is, John, midway through the first half, and as you might expect, Steve Gritt down here absolutely delighted with the way his team have adapted. He wanted them to make progress down the flanks, and that's indeed what they've been doing with Robson and Robinson. With a bit more care, he feels that Charlton should be ahead at the moment, and he obviously wants some tangible reward from their pressure and from the way they've started the game. But well pleased at the moment, John.
Thanks, Jim. Yes, I think that's always important, tangible reward. You know, teams can often dominate 45 minutes, but if they don't score, they can be in trouble. Robson gets past the first marker, not the second, though. Well directed by Speedie, not well directed by Oldfield, though. And here come Charlton once more. Pardew, and Oldfield makes up for a slight lapse of his. Thompson's bobbed up on the left for a change. Wants somebody to come closer, though. And that someone was Speedie, who's ridden the challenge superbly. Keeps on going as well. Good work, Speedie, and good work from the referee, who plays the advantage. And Agnew lobs one in here, and it might break for Thompson. Very important clearing header there on Charlton's behalf by Balmer. But they're still coming, with Roberts trying to get in there to no avail. Good refereeing, I thought, there. He played an excellent advantage.
He did indeed. He saw that Leicester were getting free down the left-hand side after good work by Speedie, and he was fouled. He fell dramatically, but he was certainly fouled, and Lomas did very well, the referee.
Builds again with Agnew, the referee this time. Gets into the act with a little pass back to Agnew. I think Charlton would have thanked him for that. Whitlow in this boggy area on the halfway line.
Pause. Tie up.
Charlton's marking continues to be good. Oh, laid back there by Oldfield, and that puts some pressure on Kevin Poole.
The natives are getting restless, John. They're unhappy with 1 or 2 passes that are being made by Leicester. They've got to be positive. They've got to get the ball forward. Square passes back to the goalkeeper. They've got to be so careful. David Oldfield's just made a mess of that one, and I don't think he'll do that again. He's just had a real...
Here goes Robson. Oh, a terrific goal, is it? No, off the inside of that upright. And Mark Robson could not have been closer to his first goal for Charlton Athletic. That deserved one.
It did deserve one. It was fine play. Look at the way he gets sideways on here to drag it. Drags it lovely onto his right foot. Plays it across. Well thought out. It was a fine save by the keeper. Let's not deny him that. Pushed it onto the post.
Well, I had to stifle the word goal there just as the crowd had to clear their throats. It looked for all the world as though it was destined for that top corner. Great effort. Charlton still in that Leicester penalty area. But then Speedie will hit the ball diagonally towards Agnew. unsuccessfully. Oh, this time Speedie hits it straight onto Leaburn's head, and Leaburn's given Grant a chance to give Charlton the lead. He goes down, and he's given it right on the edge of the area. Well, Charlton will complain vigorously about that. Certainly worth seeing again, as Kim Grant broke onto Leaburn's pass. Is he in or is he out of the area?
Well, I mean, Charlton are unfortunate. I think the players have done magnificent there. They could have made wild protests to the referee. I think they've been harshly treated. I would like to see it from a higher angle. I'd like to be looking down on it again. But there's no question about it. Speedie made a terrible mess of that ball. He tried to play it early. And Charlton have been denied twice now in literally a minute.
So, can they make the breakthrough from this free kick? Robson's in there, and Brown is in there, and it's going to be thumped in, and off the bar this time from Brown, and it has gone in. No, the whistle sounded for offside now. Well, Charlton must scarcely believe it. They cannot believe it. Steve Gritt returns to his seat. Charlton have hit the bar, hit the post, had a penalty claim turned down, and had a goal disallowed, all in the space of 60 seconds.
Well, there's no question Leaburn was in an offside position, but I have to say, although people will tell me what's he doing on the field if he's not interfering, I do believe that the goalkeeper made a genuine effort for that, to save it. It flew in the corner, and I think Charlton have been unlucky.
It was Garland who struck it. Brown who hit the first one. It thumped back off that crossbar. Garland's shot was perfect. The keeper couldn't have done a thing about it.
Well, one can only say it has to be Leicester's day so far. They've ridden a very poor 30 minutes. Here he goes again. Well, it's a very close one. It's right on the edge.
Well, Peter Garland must consider himself extremely unfortunate not to have got a goal there. Robson and Brown similarly. And to be fair, it would have been due reward for Charlton, who've been the better side.
Oh, they've certainly had the best of the first 30 minutes of the game. No one can deny that, but that was quite a remarkable couple of minutes, really. To hit the woodwork twice, to have a goal denied, and to get into those goal-scoring positions. You know, you could almost think, if you're an optimist and a Leicester supporter, you say we're going to win this one today.
Yep, and a penalty claim turned down as well. That'll be a test of Charlton's character as much as Leicester's now. Speedie directs the ball straight to Robson, who's having quite an influence on this match, and he's played Leaburn into space down the right this time. Charlton definitely deserves some reward, and Grant nearly gives them it. Well, this is an increasingly amazing story of chances for Charlton which are either not accepted or just through ill fortune they've not been able to take.
Yeah, lovely the way, the pace of that ball was very good, the way he rolled it in. I just feel the angle was a little bit too tight for Grant, but his pace and movement is causing Leicester problems. Leaburn's certainly a problem to them in the air, and at the moment I'm sure that Brian Little and John Gregory and even Alan Evans would love to get out there, hold the play for a couple of minutes and just get them together and have a little chat and say, right, come on lads, let's start again.
Well, one man who'll be disappointed not to be here is Tom Morris, who's the club's official photographer, and I understand he's in hospital, not feeling too good, in for an operation. And the supporters club are wanting to send Tom all their best wishes. I'm sure if he's watching this, he's thoroughly enjoying it. Leicester aren't enjoying it too much. They've been run ragged in the last few minutes, but it's their turn with Thompson. Mills. Neatly done again. Pardew and Robson, and Grant is the one who makes the space up the right this time. They're really pulling Leicester wide. Robson has certainly been influential. The ball in from Brown this time. Leaburn will challenge for it, and he'll get there too, but Poole should get his paws on this one, all right.
You sometimes wonder when teams have played a hard midweek game what effect it's had on them. Charlton's last game was a very efficient cup tie result last Saturday. Leicester had a real hard game with West Brom in very, very difficult conditions on Wednesday evening, and I think that looking at this first half hour, I'm sure on reflection that might have something to do with the jaded start.
Brian Little will be very glad to Oh, it's at 0-0 at half-time, yet Thompson might get one for them here now. Agnew, no, the whistle has sounded. You go along with that, David, that Brian Little will be very pleased to get through to half-time all square at the moment.
Yes, I think so. They'll be looking at the next 5 or 10 minutes to see how they react to that horrific spell.
Ball again bobbled awkwardly on the pitch there, so Leicester have been unable to clear their lines. Oh, and that's a good interception. Pardew in sharply. Just to slow things down, however. Now Minto's ball in, finds Grant and Leaburn. Leicester are really at full stretch in this half, and all credit to Charlton for that. They've really carried the fight to Leicester City. Garland swings another one in there. Agnew breasted the ball down. This time he does make good progress. Speedie. Mills. Oh, and it's found its way through to Roberts, but he couldn't control it. Route 1 that was. Didn't quite find Leaburn. There's no doubt the tactical battle has been won by Charlton so far. They've looked much the more potent side right from the word go. But it's still 0-0. And that's the most important factor.
I think it's all credit to Charlton when you consider that Pitcher and Colin Walsh are out of the side today. They've been the engine room and the skill in the midfield this season, out because of suspension. You know, really, you have to say that Peter Garland and Alan Pardew have come in there and looked as though they've been playing regularly.
Let's not forget Chappell out as well, key defender for them. That's free kick. But Alan Kirby should just say that it proves that the strength of his squad is greater than it's probably been at any time since he was with the club. He's been able to bring players in today who've not looked out of their depth at all.
No, they built it up sensibly. I mean, Alan McLeary is a good signing for nothing. Chappell has been a good signing, and certainly Mark Robson played every game for West Ham, I believe, last season.
Free kick. Thompson chips it up there. Rather uncomfortably cleared. Mills has done some great work over the years. That touchline for Leicester. Gibson playing the ball behind Whitlow. He's got the crowd restless again. Now that longer ball. And Roberts has brought it down nicely here. Now it's Speedie, but the shots are clattered away off the legs of the defender. 10 minutes to half-time, it's still Leicester City 0, Charlton Athletic 0, but definitely a game that deserves a goal. Gibson. Manchester United, Aston Villa player. Oldfield allowing Agnew to get into things. Oh, it's a lovely play from Steve Agnew. The cross was useful too, Oldfield. And now Thompson, can he hit the target? Foot wide. We were talking before the match, you and I, David, and he gets most of his goals from the penalty spot these days.
Yeah, I think he's almost got, what is it, something like 7 goals this season, 6 from the penalty spot. There you see that lovely bit of skill by Agnew, turning back on himself, left foot cross. When the clearance went to the edge of the box, good ball by David Oldfield. Had a poor first half, but he played that ball nicely square across the box. And of course, Thompson loves those. He is a beautiful strike of a ball.
That would have been cruel on Charlton. However, that's football for you, and it's still 0-0. Oldfield won it and lost it. Charlton have got 4 men strung across a line up front at the moment, but the ball wasn't quite good enough, though Leaburn has made something from it. And he's still up here, lost his footing at the crucial moment, and yet he's in maybe now. Leaburn. Oh, he's going to take the chance of a shot. It'll go right across the face of goal, and it enables Whitlow to get it away. Temporarily, I suspect.
Well, I think Leaburn had a little bit more time than he thought there when he twisted on that one. Here we see the ball pushed through by Grant. Snatched it a little bit with his left foot across the face of the goal, and of course Mark Robson didn't have the time to get in there into that 6-yard box.
Now it might break, and getting chances for Charlton. They've not looked like a side playing away from home at all in this one. And the shot whistles well wide in the end from Robinson.
Yeah, once again we see that right footer coming on the inside of Mills, looking for a shot. Mills looks as though he's got him there safe, but once again he just makes half a yard and gets that angle in.
They've not been frightened to have a go.
No.
Charlton have got a share issue on offer at the moment. It was launched just before Christmas. Fans can actually buy a 20% stake in the club. The way they're performing today, it would be a pretty good investment, I would have thought. Charlton looking to raise £1.7 million. More importantly for the moment, McLeary has to lay that ball back into the path of his keeper Salmon. And an effective clearance. Alan Kirbishley is hoping that some of that money would go to him to help strengthen his side, and they would certainly have to strengthen if they did go up. The Premier League's a very different kettle of fish. Here is Roberts. Tries to knock it down for Speedie, who does well. The two of them combining well, and here goes Roberts. Importantly won. McLeary stood his ground. Brown was there. Robson is here. And Grant tried to check there and just didn't quite manage it.
Yeah, I like the way Robson comes inside, goes towards the centre of the field, and as he goes, that's the signal for Grant to peel away out, and there's a little reverse pass coming, and there's a good telepathy between the two players.
Thompson's one of those up there now, as Leicester trying to utilise the players from the free kick, and the first two involved Roberts and Oldfield. Now Mills. 5 minutes to half-time, 0-0. Oh, that's a lovely ball. Thompson, Agnew, and it'll break now. There might be a chance for Gibson. What a disappointing end that is. And the crowd will certainly give Colin Gibson some stick for that.
Yeah, they're a demanding crowd at Leicester. They're expecting success this season. Brian Little's done marvellously well to get to 2 playoffs, and been very unfortunate to fail on both times. And this season they're expecting it, and they tend to analyse the mistakes in just that more greater detail.
Grant nicks it past the defender, keeps on going, and ricochets off him, but only for a throw-in. The problem is, as like Colin Gibson, he had a bit of a rough ride from the fans here in that game against West Bromwich Albion, and try something like that, it doesn't go off, and their confidence dips as a result when the fans get on their backs.
I think when it's sticky like this, it's very difficult to get a real nice clean run of the ball, and he hit that ball quickly and really never got hold of it at all.
Oldfield and Agnew and Roberts for Leicester. This is more impressive from them. Sweeping move involving Mills now. He'll run at Minto, and he'll get one in here towards Roberts, and the break for Oldfield. Well, that's a good challenge. That one wasn't. It's a free kick for Leicester City. 4 crucial minutes before half-time now. Thompson lobs it in here for Roberts, for Agnew. Agnew hits it left-footed. Over the top, but he'll be happy to have got an effort in on goal.
Now, when anything's played up to Roberts, you feel that he's not easily coped with by the defenders. Here you see him, nasty ball, managed to get that back to Agnew. Agnew turns, takes on his left foot and doesn't really get hold of it. But I'm sure in these conditions, Leicester's best policy, particularly from the full-back positions, diagonals, up to hit Roberts early and try and play off Roberts. Can't over-embroider, it's too sticky.
It's been a very open game, to say it's 0-0. Thompson, Oldfield, and Roberts, who's strong and purposeful and drills the shot in and wide. But Ewan Roberts is in pretty good form at the moment. 5 of his 6 goals for Leicester since he's moved from Huddersfield, a bit at Filbert Street, and he's certainly willing to try his luck.
Yeah, this is a good effort. He hits that ball with some speed.
Two minutes to the break. Leabur's climbed well again. Needed a little ball through there for Grant. As it is, it's come out for Robson. He'll try and tease them now, and he swings one in here. Not too close this time for Poole. Interception was by Grayson, who'd come up to the halfway line for Leicester there. Mills. It's another chance. Charlton have worked manfully in this half. They've all done a good job. They've got a free kick of Leicester though. It's been an extremely workmanlike performance, and perhaps that bears out something Alan Kirbishley pointed out to me during the week. And they've got these 9 local boys in this side. There's a good spirit, and they've kept Leicester at bay for 44 minutes now. Long kick from Salmon. Got an assist there. Grant had just got a bit quicker to it. Very little time, I would have thought, to be added on for injuries in this first half. So we're certainly inside the last minute. Oldfield ploughs his way through. Agnew's up ahead of him, so is Roberts. Oldfield dallied, lost the chance. And Leaburn did a pretty good job for his team and got a free kick.
Yes, I just feel in this first half Charlton have used the width better, and I think Kim Grant's been a very willing runner, been more forceful runner than Leicester have shown at the moment. Speedie and Ewan Roberts both really facing up to the play, whereas the young forward Grant is looking to run behind Leicester defenders. They've certainly turned Leicester more than Leicester have managed to get the ball behind Charlton.
Brian Little is shrewd enough to be able to change things around at half-time. And Mr. Lomas takes one look at his watch, and that's enough to tell him that it's half-time here at Filbert Street. We might have had no goals, but we've had no shortage of controversy, and Charlton very unlucky not to be in front. Mark Robson hit a post, Steve Brown hit the bar, a penalty claim was turned down, and Peter Garland then had a goal disallowed, all in the space of something like 60 seconds to a minute and a half. So half-time score here is Leicester City 0, Charlton Athletic 0.
Oh, we'll be sending him flowers next.
At Stenner's ceiling, you won't find
Plenty of action, and there's been a lot going on, hasn't there, as far as Charlton are concerned?
Well, as far as Charlton are concerned, certainly. I mean, I didn't fancy them too much going up to Leicester, but I have to say here, I mean, they're taking Leicester to the cleaners. playing terrific football, looking very threatening every time they've got it. And Leicester, on the other hand, are awful, aren't they? I mean, the passing is poor, there's no real penetration with them. But all credit to Charlton. This is the best performance we've seen, certainly in the box. They won't have a better chance of breaking the hoodoo today, will they?
Well, I was going to mention the hoodoo because they've tried everything. They've hit the woodwork twice. The first time with Mark Robson.
Well, they've had so many, you know, opportunities and got themselves in great situations, and we'll be going in at half-time thinking, what do we have to do to get a goal here? I mean, Robson did some terrific work there. Smacks at the goalkeeper, just got a finger to it. That was going in the top corner, got a finger to it and hit the post and is cleared.
That pitch is sticky, but Charlton are the ones that are making use of it.
Well, Charlton are playing a very direct game, and you know, Leicester are all over the place as it happens, and anything played over the top of the Leicester back four, they're catching them square, and you know, danger every time they go there.
Now, the penalty claim had the Charlton bench standing and screaming at the referee. Do you think they had a case?
Well, there was a case for it. David Speedie there, who did this a couple of times in the game. Diabolical pass that was, but wasn't this good big Grant. The contact is made just there, and defenders will always get the benefit of the doubt. Always do. They get the benefit of the doubt with the linesmen and the referees. But there you are, free kick on the edge of the box.
Well, this another contact with the bar.
Yeah, I mean, again, you know, super shot. Brown hits it there. You look at Leaburn on the 6-yard line, so he's offside. It came back out here. They banged in again. Garland with the shot. And the big fellas, I mean, I know what David Pleat was saying there, and I, as a forward myself, I'm always inclined to think that the forwards, if they're not directly in line with the goalkeeper, really the goal should be given, but I think most referees would give offside in that instance there. But as I'm saying, the ball over the top has been causing them a lot of problems, and we had so many instances of this in this half. Just watch this here, just knock it, nice simple ball over the top, and there you are, the caught square, the spaces are in between all the back four defenders, and really and truly, I think if they can keep it going in the second half, they'll get a goal off that. They'd certainly get a goal off the ball being played over the top.
So your money would be on Charlton then?
At the moment,
this
yes.
half coming up?
Yes.
OK, Saint. First half highlights now of another promotion clash. It's Tranmere against Nottingham Forest with commentator Rob Palmer.
Good anticipation from Morrissey. Saw that Pearce was going to win the ball. And goal inside to Aldridge. Was he fouled? Again, advantage given. No, Nevin around the goalkeeper. No doubt about it. Penalty. No point in Crossley arguing. A man who's missed an FA Cup final penalty against a man who's saved one, but John Aldridge comes off better, and Tranmere Rovers go a goal up with just under half an hour gone.
Well, they're at top of the table, and you're going to be smiling for a while on the basis of that.
Well done, John Aldridge, yes.
Beaming away. After the break, we're back at Filbert Street for the second half of Leicester against Charlton. Stay with us.
I thought you said he'd had his eyes tested.
Filbert Street, welcome back. Saint, it's looking good for Charlton, obviously not so for Leicester. I mean, what can be said in the dressing room briefly by Brian Little to sharpen up his side?
Well, I think he's really got to reorganise his defenders and get them tightening up a bit and get his passing together.
OK, let's return now to Filbert Street and join John Helm.
And welcome back to Filbert Street. If you're just joining us, half-time score here is Leicester City 0, Charlton Athletic 0, but that bears no reflection at all to the way the game has gone. Charlton very, very unlucky not to be in the lead in this game. There was one amazing spell of about 60 seconds where they had a shot from Mark Robson which struck an upright. They then had a penalty appeal turned down when Kim Grant was brought down on the edge of the area. Steve Brown struck the free kick against the crossbar. Peter Garland put the rebound into the net, and that was disallowed, would you believe? But Charlton have done extremely well. We can hear now from Alan Kirbishley talking to Jim Rosenthal.
Alan, everybody's saying how unlucky you were in the first half. That counts for nothing, though, does it?
No, I mean, obviously we're disappointed that we haven't got a goal. This game has followed the same pattern as last year when we was here. We played them off the park and then got beat. I hope it ain't the same this time, because we deserve something so far, and if we play them like we have done, obviously we're going to get a goal.
What have you said to lift them after what has been disappointing?
Well, I can't see Leicester playing as bad. I'm just saying, if we can get up there, perhaps our final ball a little bit better, take more care on our final ball, we're getting a score.
but despite the fact that you start again, as it were, you must deep down be very happy with the way it's gone.
I'm delighted with the way we played, but it's only half over.
OK, thanks, Alan. Let's go back to our commentary team then. David Pleader, calls, and first of all, John Hell.
It is indeed only half over, and I wonder what Brian Little will have done, just as importantly, in his dressing room, to lift the morale of his side, which looked very sluggish at times.
Yes, Brian makes some very bold substitutions. He's very precise and quick with his changes. He has been since he's been a manager, and he'll obviously done some shaking up.
But it's the same personnel out there, and here goes Speedie inside that Charlton penalty area. The ball breaking for Robson, though, who's had an outstanding first half, Mark Robson. Looks a very good addition to Charlton's squad. Well, here goes Grant against Hill. And, the big Irishman, solid. Speedie and Oldfield made a break up the middle. He would have been offside, and as it is, Charlton are coming now with Leaburn. Can he get in here? No, Simon Grayson just doing enough to put him off. Still the quality of Leicester's passing not as good as Brian Little would like. Now Robinson, and now Garland. And very unfortunate ending.
Once again, difficult to weigh up the square ball to get a nice footing on it, on the sticky pitch. Now, saying about Brian and the substitutions, we were discussing half-time whether he might make changes. I thought he might. I'm sure that Colin Gibson and we thought David Oldfield had a half where they just couldn't get going and they were incurring the wrath of the crowd a little bit. We thought possibly they might push both full-backs forward and bring on big Brian Carey, the centre-back, who could deal with Leaburn in the air. But I'm sure, like all fair managers, he's going to give them 10-15 minutes first to see if they can change the game around with their present tactics.
Apparently Brian Little was saying at half-time that he felt one or two of his team were going through the motions and they were paying the penalty for that gruelling game against West Bromwich Albion in midweek. So he's trying to G them up a bit. But Charlton have started the second half just as briskly as they started the first. Possession with Minto. Free kick given against Thompson. With Crystal Palace losing at Wolves yesterday, it's a real opportunity for these two sides, as well as Tranmere Rovers, who are playing today, to get up there right to the top of the division. Here's Leaburn, the little flick ball down was aimed at Robinson. And still Charlton are asking most of the questions in this match. Thompson's ball finds Speedie. Agnew eludes his marker well. It's a well-intended pass, which might produce a corner that he probably wouldn't have expected to get there. Flicked away off the top of Pardew's head. Disappointed to concede a corner in that situation because there was not a lot of danger really. And there would be an irony if Leicester scored from this. Grayson's gone to try and get in there. Roberts is in there as well, and between them, Charlton contrived to get that ball out. Hill. Here's Roberts. Important challenge by McLeary there. And urged on by their fanatical following, Leicester City try to put some pressure on Charlton's defence with Oldfield. The square ball wasn't quite read by Agnew. Pardew asks Leaburn to dart up the middle again. Robinson tries to get in here. It's laid back safely for Poole.
Once again, good movement from Charlton. From the defensive third to the front third, they've got a good understanding.
Lovely header. Roberts opening up the way for Gibson to have a tilt now. Only Speedie's up around the penalty area though. Oldfield arriving now. Safely headed out by Balmer. Neatly done by John Robinson. He's got three men ahead of him. Robson offside Leaburn this time.
Yeah, with the game getting stretched, Agnew and Steve Thompson, very good players in possession of the ball. Not so good possibly on the defending. And once or twice they've got big areas to make up, a lot of ground to cover, and in those gluey conditions it's not easy for them.
I noticed that Leicester City are now warming up their 3 substitutes. So if that's an indication that Brian Little has thought enough's enough, let's try and change things around. Mills can make very penetrating runs down the right. And this is Oldfield, who's figured much more at the start of this half than he did in the first. And Thompson has swept that one over there, but onto the head of Brown. Oh, that's neatly done. Here goes Whitlow. Mike Whitlow might just have got in there. Agnew now for Leicester City. Danger here. Roberts is at the back post. Heads across. Comfortably taken by Salmon, who reacts angrily against Whitlow, who'd stayed out.
Good ball in by Agnew there. That's the one Roberts wants. But it's a break by Whitlow which caused the problem. Really aggressive running, straight at the heart of the defence. Agnew's clip, carefully measured. Roberts, that's good coaching points there, heading back across the goal.
Whitlow scored an explosive goal in that 4-2 win over West Bromwich Albion, and he does do that every now and again. Leaburn, just offside.
Charlton bench not too happy with that one.
Oh, he looked level, did Grant, to me there. You can't expect officials to be right in every single decision, I suppose. Just as fallible as the players. Mills. Up here is Oldfield. Oh, yes, a bit of space now for Agnew, who can hit a good shot, but Charlton got the body in the way when it mattered. No free kick. They continue to sweep down the left with Gibson. This is probably Leicester's best spell.
Well, they've picked up the pace of the game for sure, and Agnew and Thompson are spreading 1 or 2 good balls wide.
They have a free kick. A dangerous time for Charlton Athletic. They had such a good first 45 minutes without capitalising. And now it's Leicester coming at them. And they've got more red blood in the veins. And Thompson's free kick. Oh, the keeper Salmon didn't get there, and he's in trouble here, and it's hooked into the net, and Leicester City take the lead through Simon Grayson. Just what we were talking about in the first half. Charlton didn't get any reward for all their persistence. They were unlucky, and now Simon Grayson has hooked in his first goal of the season, and Charlton go behind.
Well, here you see that big high ball. Salmon doesn't really get there. Leaburn gets in his way, and that's a very clever reverse shot. That is going away from the play. Grayson, he screws it back with his left foot. Look at the way Grayson attacks it in the first place. Really races in there, then he comes back out, and then he gets his body around it well. Unlucky for Charlton, but really open the game up now.
Only the second goal of Simon Grayson's career. His last one was 15 months ago against Barnsley. So he's the hero at the moment for Leicester City. 53 minutes gone, and they've stolen the lead. Speedie injured as well. Sometimes a good time to get an injury just after a goal. That might sound a funny thing to say, but Leicester have been very vulnerable recently when they've conceded a goal.
Yeah, I'm sure Speedie hasn't read your mind, John, but at the same time it will give the chance there. You can see at this moment, here we see the goal again. Charlton players can only look on. McLeary must feel that's real bad justice. But good luck to Simon Grayson. He really attacked the ball well in the box, and he was very quick to react when Salmon failed to get that ball away. You'll see Leaburn got in his way really, and he wasn't able to get a clean catch.
I know one person will be delighted to be his brother Poole, who's the Yorkshire cricketer, who's a great fan of his and comes to watch him whenever he can. So Leicester City 1, Charlton Athletic 0, and Speedie's okay again. And how many times have we seen that happen? One side dominate, no luck at all, and then they go behind. And here comes Leicester again with Roberts, who nods it down almost into the path of the onrushing Speedie.
Right, certainly more progressive football from Leicester. Get it wide early. Gibson's beginning to knock one or two accurate crosses in. And then Roberts and Speedie, who can both head a ball. We said this at the start of the game. Now for the first time they're showing some effectiveness.
The ball didn't roll kindly for Grant then. So more for Alan Kirbishley to think about. Well, he did say it, didn't he, that it's following the same pattern as last year when Charlton lost, having dominated the game.
I think it's a thing you always fear as a manager or a coach when you've had a lot of the game and played quite well and failed to score.
Here comes Speedie. Solid challenge from Alan McLeary though. One thing Charlton will keep doing is keep plugging away though.
Yeah, no one more so than Kim Grant. I think he's really ran enthusiastically and determinedly up front. And of course they've got a nice little cover for him on the bench because Gary Nelson's had a good season, and I'm quite sure if there's any signs of tiring with the younger player, Gary Nelson will come on.
Small break for Charlton, and Minto will lift one back in here. First time shot from that man you were talking about. Kim Grant had probably had a bit more time than he realised.
Yeah, he took it quickly, he took it from a difficult angle, and what he's really saying is, I needed a call. I needed a midfield player who was 15 yards behind to say, hold it. If he would have held that ball, got the ball down, he might have been able to manoeuvre an angle for a shot.
As you can probably gather, the crowd has certainly been lifted by Grayson's goal. And it's Leicester, we love you, the chant at the moment. As you said, David, in the first half, they're so expectant here with the side having lost out in 2 successive playoff finals. But here come Charlton again. There's a bit more vim about Leicester at the moment than there was in the first half. Thompson looking for Roberts to make the run, and here goes Roberts now, and he might just get in behind the defender. No, that's excellent covering. Good work from Balmer.
Yeah, that's where the pace of Joachim is missed. He's the one that can mix it up. They've got the strength, the heading ability, experience of Speedie, the power of Roberts in the air. Joachim unfortunately injured today, or else we would have seen his pace worry the Charlton defenders.
Choking out with an ankle injury. Here's Leicester's throw-in. Speedie has come to receive it, and to ask Mills to cross that ball in. It's a useful ball too. Roberts is in there, hustling for it. Charlton did well. This is Mark Robson. We haven't seen much of him in the second half, not like we did in the first, when he tore Leicester apart at times. That's a useful ball, hoisted up there, and well run out by Hill. He's belted that out of the ground. That's in somebody's living room by now.
Well, yeah, that's right. They don't lose too many here. You could compare it to a little club in the south.
The Luton Town by any chance?
No, we put a net up. We've stopped all that.
We've got to compliment Leicester City though for the progress they've made here. We're sitting today at the back of a new £5 million stand, sold out for the rest of the season, I'm told. 9,000 seats in here. So it's good progress that so many clubs have made in the Ensley League this season. I've been to Millwall, I've been to Wolves, all with wonderful new stadiums. Up to the hour mark, and Leicester City leading by a goal to 0 now. Charlton continuing to carry the fight towards Leicester, and Leaburn will put some pressure on again for them now. Wins the throw-in if not the corner. First time cross from Minto. Leaburn was coming for it, and it took a brave challenge by Hill to deny him. Garland. Whitlow even managed to get the throw, and that just shows how the luck has perhaps changed a little.
Well, there was tremendous drive in Whitlow's attempt to get that ball.
Steve Brown. We're playing his 10th first-team game. Leaburn will attack this one in company with Grayson. A little bit of confusion there, but Grayson emerged with the ball. Leicester just a little more confident in their passing movement. Now it's Leaburn. The back pass could have been very awkward indeed for Kevin Poole. He controlled it neatly. I've been pleased with that. Roberts will have been pleased with his header as well, which sets things in motion again for Leicester. Thompson just tucks it away there for Mills. A few old lays ringing around the ground as the ball eventually lands for Agnew. Charlton on the back foot again. Mills, Thompson, Agnew, lovely triangles they're playing. Here comes Whitlow, the crowd expecting a left foot dip from him. He's found the net 3 times this season, but that was never going to make number 4.
Well, it was good patient play by Leicester there. Some good passing triangles on the right with Mills, and when it finally came there, it was a square pass, and Whitlow's looking to come onto it. There's far more ambition about Leicester's play.
Whitlow, the former Leeds United man, who came into professional football very late from Whitton. Now in Roberts, but importantly again, McLeary getting that foot in. He's done well today. Minto. That earns a chase from Grant. Grayson has grown in confidence. He's having an outstanding season, and he's got the goal today as well, to add to his defensive work. By Thompson, but Charlton do retrieve the situation and win that ball, and Grant's offside.
Well, Leicester beginning to hold a tight back line now.
Do you think that Steve Britt, Alan Kirbysley might just be thinking of Gary Nelson coming on before long?
I think they'll have to. I think they'll let it go probably another 10 minutes, but I'm sure we're going to see Gary Nelson this afternoon, and possibly Sean Newton too.
Speedie. It's good battling. Robson making sure he got that ball. And Leicester's endeavour epitomised there as Thompson and Mills came back to win the ball for Leicester City. So rather two strenuous efforts by Ewan Roberts.
I think the last 15 minutes will be a real slog for both sides. I think they've done very well in the conditions physically. It's real soggy ground in the middle there, and it's difficult to get your foot in.
Minto's ball in. Thompson's header out for Oldfield. And Speedie was looking to find him with a return pass. Oldfield had gone down in the mud and had no hope of getting up there. So instead, it's Charlton again, and Pardew, and the ball has gone back to the keeper. Oldfield certainly having a more effective half than he did the first 45 minutes. And the Charlton substitutes, there is Sean Newton at the front, and Gary Nelson, who would hope to get on today. It's his 33rd birthday. I'm sure he'd like to celebrate with the equaliser. Roberts, lovely little flick. Speedie, now what can he do? He'll turn it into the path of Colin Gibson. He twists his man inside and out and lays the ball across here for Roberts. The little knockback sliced away by McLeary. there's certainly more urgency about Leicester now as Mills pings another one in here for the corner. Steve Brown, that young defender, talking a good game at the moment as he takes up his position in defence now. Steve Thompson will go over to take this corner for Leicester City, who will be listening eagerly for the Tranmere Rovers result if they do go on to win this match. It's just feasible for Leicester to go top today, as it is of course for Charlton to be top of the league. And here's a Roberts header. And it's Grayson again who got up there. He's very keen.
Roberts is showing good ability to pull away from his man at the back post. Whenever the ball goes wide, that's from a set play from a corner, and there was an offside flag given there. But whenever the ball is wide, he's making for the back post. He stands with his central defender, and then just at the last second, he pulls away from him.
Oh, good challenge from Grant to win the ball there. So it keeps Charlton moving towards that Leicester goal. Clearing header from Hill, though, is effective. Here comes Brown. And Lowe up into the attack. Leicester have got the bit between the teeth now.
Yeah, they're fired up a little bit. They've, as I say, had a poor first half, and they're really going stronger now and using the width better and getting the crosses in. And I also think Colin Gibson has pulled wider this half. He was playing in that messy middle part of the field in the first half. He's really gone towards the touchline, Colin Gibson, and I think that has given Leicester the edge. Whitlow's come on his inside, and they began to make roads. They pushed Robson back. They made Robson defend on that side of the field, whereas in the first half he was the most perky attacker.
Offside's been given there, and wasn't sure at all about that one. King Grant looked to be way behind the Leicester man when that was given. Let's have another word with Jim Rosenthal down on the touchline. Jim?
Well, John, as you and David have been suggesting, I think we're going to see the birthday boy Gary Nelson on pretty soon, probably in place of John Robinson. And the word from the Charlton bench is gutted. They say that Leicester have had just the one shot and they've scored once, and they feel there's no justice in this game at the moment. They're a bit upset, in fact, at the foul on David Speedie before the goal. They felt that wasn't a foul, that was a harsh decision. Might be worth looking at that after the game, perhaps. But they're pretty upset, but they're looking to bring on Nelson when they can.
All right, and there's trouble for them again in defence now. Oldfield nicked that ball through towards both Speedie and Agnew. But keeper Salmon did his job well. Well, unfortunately, football isn't about justice often, is it? A lot of results over the years have been very unjust. At the moment, it's Leicester City leading by the only goal. And on the attack as well, Mills will fire another one in here. And it'll hang, and Salmon will just about get there, and that was good keeping, and so was the throw out as well. Gets Robson moving. He's got a bit to do though. Oh, he's done it well too, and he's hauled back, and that's the sort of thing that really infuriates players and managers. And I think it will be the final act before a substitution by Charlton Athletic. There's Gary Nelson. And the number lifted is that of John Robinson, number 18.
Well, that was a yellow card offence for me. It was a blatant pull back on Robson when he was going in towards the corner of the box, and Mr. Lomas has been far too kindly.
Agreed. So can Nelson get a goal to retrieve at least a point for Charlton Athletic? They have 22 minutes in which to do that. Starting with this free kick. Oh, and Leaburn has gone up there. It was the best effort of Carl Leiburn's afternoon, that. He's got 9 this season, nearly number 10.
Yeah, decent ball. And a good leap, really. It was very close, that. But you have to remember that free kick came from a position where Charlton were penalised.
Thompson. Speedie was kept at bay by Balmer. Minto had no option. Still Leicester lead by the solitary goal of the match. McLeary and co have some more work to do in defence now. There's Oldfield giving it away. Referee says play on, so Poole will do that. There would have been an offside decision, but that's good, that keeps the game going. We're just past the midway point of this half. With Leicester having taken more of a stranglehold on the game, certainly. As soon as you say that, Gary Mills puts his foot on the ball, misses it, and here goes Nelson. Useful ball in, here's Leaburn. It's eluded him by the merest. He just needed a touch there, didn't he?
Yeah, Charlton just need to get a break on the counter. Once or twice Leicester have made mistakes and Charlton have got away. Nelson delivered that at just the right time. It was just eluding the tall Leaburn.
Header there by Speedie. Oldfield was warned about Nelson's presence behind him. If Speedie keeps going, full marks for effort there, if not for execution. Thompson. He's found his man Gibson there, remote control. And Gibson gets past the first challenge. Tries to get it back onto his left foot. He's very much a left-footed player. Now Speedie might try and tee someone up here. But McLeary, rock-like again for Charlton Athletic. So it stays at 1-0. But whenever Speedie or Roberts is around the edge of that area, you worry for Charlton. Robson has reversed that ball over there for the long cross, and Grant's coming towards it. Easily plucked out of the air by Kevin Poole.
Yeah, space is beginning to open up. Colin Gibson has done a prodigious amount of work in this half up on that left side. It's just sometimes difficult for him to get back when Charlton counter. And they also, as Gibson went wider for Leicester, Charlton also opened the game out and Robson went even wider. And Charlton have got a get-out ball. They can get that ball to Mark Robson and he can still cause some damage.
18 minutes left, Leicester City 1, Charlton Athletic 0. There's McLeary, clips this free kick onto Leiburn's head, and Grant is bundled over, not for the first time, on the edge of the penalty area. That certainly was outside the area. He nearly won a penalty in the first half. Grayson can afford a smile. He wouldn't have been smiling if it had been another foot the other side.
No, and if Colin Walsh would have been playing, there'd be a fair percentage chance that he might be able to put this one in the net.
So Robson's there, Garland is there. Robson already having hit the post once today, might fancy his chances. And Brown, who hit the bar with an absolutely venomous effort, looks as though he might be teeing himself up as well. Brown, who's never scored a goal in the league, and it's Robson. Nice try.
That's a delicate little lob, wasn't it? Soft little downswing. And just glided it over the wall and possibly a foot over Poole's bar.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah.
They do deserve some reward today, Robson and co for Charlton. They've played well enough. Nelson caught offside. Charlton not been too happy with one or two of the offside decisions today.
No, and Leicester has started to rely on the linesman as well. Beginning to try and hold the line and squeeze out, and Charlton are trying to run from midfield, but it's a dangerous game.
Grayson, free kick for Leicester. And it'll get up towards the edge of that Charlton penalty area. It'll get in there for Roberts, in fact. Now it's Oldfield. Dangerous ball here for Salmon. He takes it calmly.
There's really too much space for Robson to counter. I would be a little bit worried if I was Leicester. They're winning 1-0. I would just be sitting a little bit on that left-hand side. Every time that Salmon collects the ball or the ball goes into the box from the Leicester right, there's always a chance of the ball out to Robson. And he's got too much space.
Yes, they've allowed him that latitude. And here's one for Leaburn to get in on. He almost got in there twice. And when Gary Nelson gets his boot to it, it sends the ball nearly spinning out of the ground again. News from elsewhere in the Ensley First Division today. It's Tranmere Rovers 1, Nottingham Forest 0, a John Aldridge penalty. So if that stays that way, Tranmere will be the new leaders tonight. And up at Roker Park, it's Sunderland 1, Middlesbrough 0. Somebody you know well about, David. Guess who scored it?
Yeah.
Phil Gray, penalty.
Well, they've got them on his worth.
Phil Gray used to be at Luton Town before he moved up to Roker. Two penalties elsewhere, but today just the one goal in open play has come here at Leicester. Might be another one now. Speedie is edge of that area. It's a long ball up there for Gibson. A bit too much loft on it that time, Speedie. So the only goal in open play scored by Simon Grayson for Leicester here against Charlton, who will have a free kick now. And I think this is going to be a booking, is it? Mr. Lomas looks as though he's reaching for the yellow card, which he will administer to Colin Gibson. And to me, that wasn't as bad a challenge as the one a few minutes ago, which stopped Mark Robson in his tracks. Yellow card it is. As Charlton have 14 minutes left. To get themselves out of this sticky mess. I'm not referring to the pitch, just the state of the game. 1-0, Leicester in the lead. Charlton's free kick though. It was Grayson's clearing header. Gibson's clearing boot. McLeary chested that in the opinion of Mr. Lomas and seemed to be put off by the crowd's roar as he tried to pass it up there. Roberts, well, a steepling header, but Gibson had not read his mind. Grant fouled on the halfway line by Agnew, wins another free kick for Charlton Athletic. They're still in this contest, no doubt about that. Oh, and a bit of time wasting going on there. Also, if Brian Little might think of a substitution, bearing in mind that these players were all playing in that gruelling match during the week. Now Robson. That's again by Hill, who's had a sterling match.
There's certainly no need to change his defensive formation. They pulled themselves together. They haven't made the mistakes they made in the first period. He could possibly use David Lowe for David Oldfield, maybe. But David Oldfield's done much better in the second period. Roberts is still important to them, and they'll need Speedie.
Agnew was strong to ride that challenge, and here goes Roberts now. Balmer. As well again. He's stood in all right for Chapel today. Well, too many cooks there. And, Grant and Grayson together. And, Grayson had the last word. Charlton have never had the breaks somehow today when they might have had. Brian Little might look anxious, but I'm sure he's less anxious than he was at half-time. Garland has hit this one long, and Grant, has he got the pace to get in now? Again he goes down under a challenge. This time it was a fair challenge by Mills.
Get up, stop!
Oldfield. To go at Filbert Street. Leicester City only one defeat in their last 9 league games. It's an impressive run, and the feeling again is that they're going to be one of the strongest sides in the division.
I think without a doubt, you look at Tranmere, if they take the lead today, I'm quite certain that the top 3 is going to come from anywhere in the current top 10. It could be any one of them, and it's going to be wide open. I think there's going to be some exciting football as the season develops.
The next bit of excitement here is a free kick for Charlton Athletic. As Crystal Palace have just wobbled a bit in their last couple of matches, but every team has had the wobble at some stage of the season. Wolves are coming strongly at the moment. Derby, Nottingham Forest all in there as well, and Millwall. The latest score from Roker Park: Sunderland 2, Middlesbrough 1 there. So a reversal at the moment of the result earlier this season at Ayresome, when Middlesbrough ran away with it. 4-1 the score that day. Speedie, chances now for Leicester. They surge forward. Gibson first. Bobbled away from it. We were talking about bobbles off the pitch, and that was one of them. Leaburn, great ball through. This is Charlton's chance of the equaliser. And all credit to goalkeeper Poole. Alan Pardew in a great position to strike an equaliser, deprived of it by Kevin Poole's agility.
It was a lovely tidy ball, wasn't it? That last pass, here we see him on the shot. To be fair, the goalkeeper came, closed the angle very quickly.
Charlton still not having any fortune. Now Leaburn gets in there. Chance is here, and the equaliser. Charlton Athletic have got their reward. I think it was Robson, maybe, was it, who got in at that far post. No, it's Balmer. Stuart Balmer, only his second goal of the season, who gets in here. Leaburn takes a lot of the credit too, tussling away for it. Pardew was in there, and the final touch was from Stuart Balmer.
Good battling by Leaburn from the corner, but isn't it remarkable? 2 goals scored, very similar. Both left-footers, both by central defenders, both with the same action, reeling away from the goal and reversing a ball with a left foot. That's strange.
Well, a much happier day then for Stuart Balmer than a recent one against Leicester. He put through his own goal then. Today he scored for the right team, and you've got to say that Charlton do deserve that.
Oh yes, I mean, they've got 8 minutes to hold it, Charlton, and they can deny Leicester the extra 2 points that a win would have given them. I think they'll be pleased. They put in a lot of effort, Charlton. I think it's becoming a slog, and it'll be important for Charlton now not to lose this game.
So some relief for Matters Grit and Kirbishley. And there he is, Stuart Balmer, only playing today, brought in for the first time since Boxing Day because of Phil Chappell's suspension. What a good return, a timely return. Well, Colin Gibson's coming off, and David Lowe, who is a striker of course, takes his place with 7 minutes to go for Leicester.
Colin Gibson's had a good little career here in the swan song of his football. It was I that signed him from Manchester United. He's had all sorts of injury problems, and he's still going strong, possibly 4 years after I took him. Certainly 3.
Charlton have broken a hoodoo as well. They've played 4 times on the live match in London, and it's the first time they've scored a goal. So maybe now they've broken their duck, they'll go and get another one.
They certainly put a lot of physical pressure into that box on that corner kick. And of course it came. Here's the corner again. Well flighted. Good physical challenge. And a quick shot.
Took it well, didn't he?
He did indeed.
The turn. Charlton lifted by that, no question about it. It's 1-1 now, 6 minutes left. Grant trying to get in behind Grayson, made him a little bit flustered, and this is another good spell from the Valiants. says a lot for their character. A lot of sides would have been demoralised by the events of that first half.
You've only got to look at the away record, John, and see that they've got some character.
There's 4 wins before today. They've won at Portsmouth, not many people win there. One at Barnsley, one at Grimsby and one at Peterborough as well. And they're holding Leicester, one of the strongest teams in the division. They're holding them 1-1, and here they go again with Grant. Leaburn's trying to get in there. This is a tremendous run. Terrific work, Leaburn. How didn't it go in? Carl Leaburn, no more than 2 yards out, seemed destined there to strike what could have been a winner. Alan Kerbishley can't believe it. That was a lovely move.
And it was the sleight of foot of little Robson. Lovely little play by Robson. He's really done well today. I'm delighted for the boy. I signed him for Tottenham from Exeter City for 40,000 a few years ago. Lovely little player.
Looks like being an outstanding signing, and he'll take this corner kick as Charlton, with this late assault, are looking for a winner. Leaburn goes in. This time Leicester do manage to clear the corner, but they're looking tired again, and there was a challenge on Speedie that Scott Minto might regret, because Mr. Lomas has come to have words with Scott Minto. I say it's a man's game.
It's unfortunate for David Speedie. Whenever he challenges anyone away from home, the crowd roar and the referees sometimes react. And by the same token, when he gets challenged at home, the crowd roar and the referee tends to react too. Fortunately, at that time for Minto, he didn't book him. Speedie's running away. He's okay.
4 minutes left for either side to seal the win as we have a look at that lovely move again there. Robson in, and here comes Leaburn, and you would have backed him 9 times out of 10. That was the 10th.
And Gary Mills was the hero, I think.
Yes, he was. Put out of play by Whitlow. So Robson goes down, but I think only momentarily. It's been a good contest, been some good football played today. Garland loops one up there, but that's going to run all the way through for Poole. And the home fans urging their side in the quest for a late winning goal. Free kick's given. So having just exerted some pressure, Charlton will now have to soak up some. And they'll throw everybody in there. Roberts will get in, Oldfield will be in. They're still left 2 men back on the halfway line. Here it comes, Speedie goes for it. The punch by Salmon, just enough to put him off. And Charlton survived that little scare.
You just sensed that Mike Salmon, just once or twice when that ball's coming, has just been a little bit wary of the challenge.
Swung in again towards Roberts, who breasts it down. Grayson. Up it goes again, and here's Agnew. Minto has to put it out for the corner. Final flurry, 2 minutes left. Thompson, corner for Leicester City. It's well hit up there. Roberts looking to get it. Here comes Agnew. Good stop from Salmon.
That's a fine save.
Oh, it's a rip-roaring finish. Chances at both ends. Leaburn at the one end looked as though he might steal a winner for Charlton. And then that was a great shot by Agnew as Leicester drive forward once more. Mills, again the crowd roaring, baying for blood here. Oh no, it's Ewan Roberts gets in there. I'm not sure whether that came off a Charlton man, but as Ewan Roberts won it at the death for Leicester City. Lovely flighted cross. Ewan Roberts shows that toothy grin of his, almost a la Joe Jordan. Mills with the cross. Now then, it is Roberts, and that's a goal, and surely a winner.
Well, the noise is tremendous there. You see there, Roberts just pull away, finally direct the ball, and not only gets it back across the keeper, but he gets it low. And Salmon can only despair, and Charlton can only despair.
It's a great header, isn't it? Ewan Roberts really proving the worth of his £300,000 transfer from Huddersfield. 12 goals this season now. Half for Huddersfield, half for Leicester, and there won't be many better than that from him.
No, he's a real threat. He's a real threat upstairs. He's a good age. And of course Leicester have always done well with goal-scoring forwards.
And Steve Agnew has been named as the man of the match. Well, he's had a hard foraging performance in midfield, but there's no question about the crowd's favourite at the moment, and that is Ewan Roberts, who has quickly won his way into the hearts of the Leicester fans with his deeds here. But I know you still have to say that you feel for Alan Kirbishley. He must feel lightning has struck again here.
Yeah, they've had an unlucky day, Charlton. You can see their tidy play. It's been tacky, it's been tiring. Charlton have tried to play tidily. They've shown all the Leicester crowd certainly that they can play football, and they're going to be a challenger this season. But Leicester have had an important week, 2 home games, and if they retain this lead for 6 points, it's been an absolutely vital week for them.
90 minutes up on the electronic scoreboard as Leicester City quite cleverly make a substitution. David Speedie's the player to leave the scene. He will be replaced by defender Brian Carey. And the crowd chant David Speedie's name. He wasn't always that popular here. And the final score, I understand, no, the latest score from Prenton Park is Nottingham Forest 1, Tranmere Rovers 1. Tranmere 1, Forest 1. But don't count Charlton out yet. They've got chances, edge of that Leicester penalty area now. I think it's just conceivable that Leicester City could go top tonight. If they win this one, they will go up above Tranmere, up above a number of clubs, but it's Charlton with a last assault now. Oh, tremendous drama here at Filbert Street at the end of this cracking match. 2-1 the score at the moment. Leicester City lead. But they've had some very nervous moments on this day. And I think Brian Little will know, he won't disguise the fact that they could consider themselves just a little fortunate if they do come through with the maximum points.
Yeah, well, I think we felt at half-time, didn't we, that Charlton had so many misfortunes in the first period and failed to capitalise or failed to get the right decision, that it could go against them. That when they got the equaliser, we felt that was a just reward, but Leicester have struck.
Yes, nobody was more disappointed than Stuart Balmer, and he got that late equaliser. But the day belongs to Leicester City. They've taken the 3 points. They could well be on their way to the top of the First Division. Ewan Roberts is the hero of the hour once again with that late-headed goal. There were 89 minutes on the clock when Roberts flung himself at the cross and the ball nestled snugly in the corner of the Charlton net. Sympathy for Charlton, who battled away, was so unlucky in the first half when they hit the bar and the post. Leaburn might have stolen a win for them even towards the end. But as it's turned out, those goals from Simon Grayson and Ewan Roberts against one by Stuart Balmer for Charlton have given us a final score of Leicester City 2, Charlton Athletic 1. And it's Leicester who take the spoils, but I'm sure Alan Kirbishley and Steve Wick will be bitterly disappointed by that. Let's go down to Jim Rosenthal on the touchline.
You must feel very, very upset not to have got anything here today, Alan.
Yeah, we played well, I thought. Created a lot of chances, and at the end of the day, unfortunately, not come away with a point.
I think just about the one time he got away from you was the winning goal.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Long ball to the far post, just crept behind me and got the header in.
After that amazing sequence in the first half, I mean, do you feel deep down it might just not have been your day here?
No, I thought we deserved to get something from it. We created enough chances to have got something. Unfortunately, just didn't go our way today.
Very, very frustrating. I would think one or two of the players were almost close to tears when they came off today.
Yeah, it's a big game for teams. But there's a long way to go. You know, we're still up there in the hunt. There's only a point in it between the top 4 or 5, so long way to go yet.
I suppose it's an old adage in football, isn't it? If you get your chances and then you don't take them, you're on the back foot.
That's right, yeah. We had enough chances early on in the game to have got something from it.
Well done, Alan, anyway. OK, let's just call in Alan Kirbishley. Alan, you said one thing to me during the second half, gutted. That was before you lost the game.
Well, I think if we make them many chances and don't score, it's our own fault. And as I said, this was exactly the same as last year. We played them off the park last year and got beat. You know, and I'm lost for words because we've created enough chances there today to have won that easy. But if we keep playing like that, then we've got a chance. And if that's right, that Tranmere have drawn, then we're all still in there. So we're looking forward to next week.
The way you conceded both the goals, I would think, must have disappointed you.
I mean, obviously, I'm just disappointed. You know, I'm disappointed for them because they've given everything. You come to a place like Leicester, and if you play them off the park and get nothing, it's very disappointing.
I think the latest score is 2-1 to Forest. It means it's all very, very tight up there. But Alan, I mean, you might have to have a look at things. I mean, every team needs a sharp, cutting edge. When you play like this and you don't put teams away.
Well, if the share issue takes off, which we're hoping that it does, and there's some money available, obviously we'll spend it. But it's for there to see. We're quite a good side. We're hard to beat. We create enough chances today to have won it, and I mean, we'd have been sitting well top, wouldn't we?
Lots of excitement. Sorry, couldn't have brought you more luck again.
Well, that's the 8th game on the TV. I don't want you back, I don't think, anymore. All right.
I'm afraid we will be.
I hope he doesn't mean it. More post-match reaction coming up, and we've highlights of the rest of today's Ensley League First Division matches, so don't go away. One, it finished, and Alan Kirbishley and Steve Britt won't be pleased at all to hear that it was Simon Grayson's first goal of the season that put him down.
I mean, they can rightly say we was robbed today because they played ever so well. I mean, well, let's have a look at the goals, and you know, it was just a case of them playing so well and not winning the game. Here's the first goal coming up now, Simon Grayson's goal. I thought the goalkeeper didn't quite make a very good job of that there, but that was wonderful skill, you know, to turn and take it the way he did. He was back to goal, swivel and get in the top corner. That was a terrific goal. And here's the equaliser at the other end, Stuart Balmer's goal. Again, similar, you know, coming from a corner kick. Leaburn in there on the challenge. And when it dropped down here, I thought, again, a nice piece of skill. Thank you very much. Kept nice and cool. And he placed it up there in the top corner. And that was the part that impressed me there. He knew where he was trying to put that and stuck it in.
It was Stuart Balmer's second goal.
But the whole of the game, the whole of that second half, and really the whole of the result was right down to the business of Leaburn's miss. Because you know, at that stage it's 1-1, 5 minutes to go. Now if Leaburn scores here, this is a great attack. Played some lovely football, got themselves in there. Now watch Leaburn's peeling away. I think if you go to the ball, you know, if that had been me, I think I'd have gone to the ball, to the player with the ball, and you'd have been in there first to just side foot it in with your right foot. As it happened, he went behind the defender and then hits him with it. So really and truly, that was the incident, really.
Well, that would have been the win they deserved, but yes, as it was, they didn't even get the draw.
Well, they didn't even get that, and here we are. I mean, how many times do you see this ball pumped into the box, nothing happens. This time there was Roberts, good header across the goalkeeper. I think people might think the goalkeeper could have made a dive at that. I'm not too sure. I don't really think he had much of a chance for it.